Here's why Robin Westman committed the incident at Catholic school in Minneapolis. This morning, terror struck Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis. During a quiet service, shots tore through the church windows. 2 children, just 8 and 10 years old, lost their lives, while 17 more, 14 kids and 3 adults, were left injured in chaos. The suspect was soon identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, once a student of the same school.
Hey man, man, what it do, man? Welcome back to my channel, man. I'm your host, Just Nate, by the way, man. And in today's video, man, we'll be touching on the new no phone policies that's supposed to be passed in public schools. Also, we'll be talking about right after they passed this law, there was a school shooting literally like 2 days ago in what was it, Mississippi? I think it was Mississippi or something, but a 23-year-old guy then shot up a Catholic school that he used to, but the story is he used to attend this Catholic school. Mind you, this guy is now a transgender, so he transformed from a man to a female, but he attended this Catholic school. Now that had me thinking, did something happen to this guy in this Catholic school that caused him to be the way he is now, and what made him go back to the school and shoot it up? I don't know, man. Let me know in the comments what your thought is on this topic, man. But get whatever you need before we dive in this video, man. And we're going to dive right in. It's time to sit back, relax, and let's react. Let's get it.
Okay, so y'all know I told y'all that we're supposed to be using our gifts for the people and not just for ourselves. And I'm going to be obedient. God told me that we need to get our children out of the school systems. And I kind of went back and forth with that for a minute before I put the message out. I'm like, are you sure? Hold on a minute. And he assured me, like, yes, put this out now. Put it out. God told me that there would be a lot of school pupils to come. God said our children are the target. He gave me clips of a commercial. The commercial had been out for I think like a year. I don't know if it's a year or 2. The commercial is called Sandy Hook Essentials. God say they put that commercial on TV because it is an agenda. Once you look at the commercial, you can tell that the commercial is not funny. The commercial is very heartbreaking. It's saddening. And it shouldn't even be a commercial, honestly, because it surrounded the Sandy Hook situation. God said, get your children out of that school system. He showed me the clip where the little girl was in the bathroom stall and she was balled up and she was texting her mom before the computer came in. She sent the text to her mom and said, I love you. God has assured me that a lot of us won't get a final text. God said they're taking the phones on purpose. The phones aren't a distraction for the kids. It's the fact that they don't want us to know what's going on in the inside of the school. And whenever this happened, your kids will not be able to reach out to you. You will not find out what happened until they plastered it on the news. Yeah. You will be the last to know what is going on with your kids because they cannot contact you. We need to get our kids out of the school system.
Facts.
How do we feel about these? So, my son shows me this when I get home from work, and he said you basically put your phone in here at the beginning of first period, and you lock it. And this doesn't unlock. The only way it unlocks is with a magnet that the principal has. And the principal has to come unlock everybody's phones at the end of the school day. When he unlocks it, then you can take your phone out. So you'll have this with you at all times. The kids will have their phones with them at all times, but they'll be in here. And it'll be locked for the whole time until the principal unlocks it for you at the end of the school day. So my question is, what if there's an emergency?
Exactly.
How are these kids supposed to reach out to us with locked phones? the budget to buy a phone holder for every child? I mean, I'm sure that the budget's there, but isn't there like better things they can spend their money on? How do we feel about these? Just, what do you think? Literally, put their phones in here, the beginning of first period, it's in here locked up the whole day. Kids don't have access to it. They can't unlock it in between classes, nothing until the end of the day, from what I understood, unless I understood wrong.
You should always be able to contact your kids.
But if there's an emergency, and we know there has been crazy emergencies these past years with shootings and all kinds of crazy stuff, how are they supposed to communicate if there's an emergency with their phones locked in here until the principal, and then the principal has to spend all this time unlocking this at the end of the day? Doesn't he have better things to do? Just, what's your opinion on it?
Crazy, man.
Okay, so parents are outraged that their kids can't have phones in school. Like, outraged. Meanwhile, I'm a Gen Xer who survived 12 years of education with nothing but a trapper keeper and unresolved childhood trauma. We didn't have phones. We had pay phones that ate quarters like Pac-Man. If you forgot your lunch, too bad. You were either bartering your pudding cup like cigarettes in prison or just went hungry. Now parents are like, but what if my child needs to reach me? Let me tell you something. My mom reached me just fine by doing absolutely nothing. If there was an emergency, the school office secretary, who looked like 47 since birth, smoked Virginia Slims at her desk and had a voice like a chainsaw, she might deliver the message. And if she didn't feel like it, sorry Karen, your kid just found out about grandma dying after dodgeball. You know what we had instead of phones? Notes, folded into tiny little origami triangles. If you wanted to text someone, you risked your life tossing it across the room like a paper shuriken. Half the time the teacher intercepted it and read it out loud. That was our version of a group chat. Safety. Please. Our parents didn't have GPS trackers. They had no idea where we were from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If we weren't home by dark, the only app they opened was the...
Yeah, you got a point, but we living in a different time now. It's a totally different time.
persons, that's it. Back in my day, if you pulled out electronics in class, it was a calculator, and it was treated like contraband, like you just smuggled in a missile launcher. And our parents, they left us home alone with one emergency number, taped to the fridge, 911. That was it. If the babysitter was drunk or the house caught fire, congratulations, you're the adult now. These kids are panicking because they can't Snapchat through geometry. Seriously, we couldn't even use a calculator without being accused of witchcraft, okay? We had to actually show our work because apparently teachers needed proof that we were suffering enough. So yeah, take their phones, let them suffer. Worst case, they learn how to use a pencil or make eye contact and maybe, just maybe, survive a day without sending you 57 texts that say, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, or something worse happened. You tripping.
Hey, yeah, US here, so I was wondering, right? What about instead of making our country better, we ban all phones in schools, alright? What about instead of helping Palestine, we ban AirPods in schools? Thoughts on that?
Exactly!
Alright, that's good. So, I know we have school shootings every other week and everything, but what if we just ban phones again? Thoughts on that?
Perfect.
That's good. Yeah. So, we need a $300 million budget, by the way.
Yep, I can afford that.
Alright, thank you.
Sad, man.
The big change begins in September when students return to class for the 2025 academic year. They will no longer be able to use personal internet-enabled devices like cell phones, smartwatches, and tablets during the school day. Mayor Eric Adams and school's chancellor Melissa Aviles-Ramos announced the updated policy on Wednesday to comply with a new state law aimed at eliminating distractions in the classroom. Students will be allowed to use their devices when traveling to and from from school, but they must be turned off and put away while learning. Schools will also be required to provide at least one way for families to reach their kids in case of an emergency and provide a secure way to store phones. There are exceptions for those who need devices for medical reasons. Mayor Adams defended the new policy, writing in a statement, "We know that excessive cell phone use is harmful to our children's concentration and mental health, and with this new policy, we will finally reduce distractions as we help our students reach their full potential." Adams says he has allocated $25 million to help implement this new policy at 1,600 public schools across the 5 boroughs.
The only distraction is the distraction they trying to distract the parents.
This sick motherfucker, Robin Westman, is said to be the gunman behind shooting 17 people as well as unaliving 2 children, 8 and 10 years old, this morning at the Catholic Church down there in Minneapolis.
Wow.
Robin Westman is 23 years old, and not that it's important, but it has been reported that Robin Westman is transgender, so formerly known as Robert Westman. They say that Robin Westman had a manifesto and posted a series of videos on YT this morning, also indicating a plan to take out Donald Trump. And before anybody says that they feel like this motherfucker had any mental illness whatsoever at all, this motherfucker had a plan, and this motherfucker strategized, and this motherfucker implemented that motherfucking plan. Ain't nothing mental about that shit. This motherfucker was sane as hell, and this motherfucker needs to be held accountable to the fullest extent. We talking about 2 children unalive, and talking about 17 other people injured, as well as we're talking about children like this young man I'm about to show y'all that got to now live with this for the rest of his life, and also watch his friend get shot in the goddamn back. I was going to play it for everybody, but I don't want this to end up being too long, but I would like everybody to look this up. But this 10-year-old young man had to explain, and could you imagine being 10 years old and having to explain how it felt like being inside a school and somebody came there and started shooting and you had to hide underneath the pews and or the tables, and you've had to feel like your friend saved your life by jumping on top of you because that friend ended up getting hit? This young man said that 2 of his friends ended up getting hit and he felt like one of them even saved his life. We're going to say the young man's name, Victor, because Victor is a hero. Because who knows where that bullet could have ended up hitting that young man that was explaining how Victor jumped on top of him and he felt like Victor saved his life. To be that age and to be that brave to jump on one of your friends is absolutely amazing, and it's even more fucked up that a child in that position has to be brave enough to jump on top of a friend to save a friend at school. This is absolutely disgusting and fucked up that this continues to happen inside of our country and people continue to show their evilness that they've been holding inside of their hearts. Because only a motherfucker that's truly evil would think to go through with some shit like this and put children at motherfucking risk because of their own selfish shit.
This the video of the 10-year-old right here.
I think I got like gunpowder on my neck. I was like 2 seats away from the stained glass windows. So they were like, the shots were like right next to me.
When you heard the shots, what went through your head?
I was like, the first one I was like, what is that? I thought it was just something, then I heard it again. I just ran under the pew. And then I covered my head. My friend Victor like saved me though, because he laid on top of me. But he got hit.
Your friend laid on top of you?
Yeah, and he got hit.
Is this something that you practiced before?
Yeah, we practice it like every month, or I don't know, but yeah, we've never practiced it in the church though, only in school, so it was way different.
What do you want to say to your friend who helped protect you?
He's really brave, and I hope he's good in the hospital.
And what do you want to say to everyone that had to go to the hospital?
I hope you're okay, and I'm praying for you.
Dang, man, you praying for him.
All I hear is pow, pow, pow. And me and my 2 buddies, my first thought, I told them, get down, go under the pew. And I dropped down under the pew myself. And after I just started praying, Mass had just started. We were all just happy. We just finished the song, and this is when the outrage breaks out, and
It's good that they knew to pray, man.
That's just when my mind came to a complete shock. I look up and I just see, unfortunately I see a body on the floor not moving, and when we get outside the building, my friend, he tells me that he has been hit and that he had to be rushed to the hospital, so I'm just waiting for the chance for me to talk to him. I hear that he's okay, and I think it's just horrible that this had to happen in the first week of school.
First week of school, man. And no phones.
This is the person that lit up a Catholic school, taking the life of 2 children and injuring 17. Robin, who used to go by Robert before the transition, decided to go attack the school after posting a whole manifesto showing a whole bunch of clips and everything with names written on it, one saying our president.
And he posted
This person was targeting the children because they stood in front of the window, made sure they were there, then proceeded to let it loose. Fearing being arrested, they flipped it on themselves and caused a self-sustaining injury. Now there's arguments on Twitter where people are saying that even though the person did wrong to mispronounce, the name that they wanted to be called or what they want to be identified is wrong, while others are arguing back trying to push political views. Regardless, this should have never happened. It's sad that 2 kids had to leave. I pray for the other 17. What do you guys think about this whole situation? I'm gonna try to upload the rest of the footage.
It's sad, man.
Here's why Robin Westman committed the incident at Catholic school in Minneapolis. This morning, terror struck Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis. During a quiet service, shots tore through the church windows. 2 children, just 8 and 10 years old, lost their lives, while 17 more, 14 kids and 3 adults, were left injured in chaos. The suspect was soon identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, once a student of the same school. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Reports suggest Robin carried heavy scars from his childhood there, claiming he was bullied and mistreated. For years, that anger and pain grew.
That makes sense, man. If he went to the school while we returned and shoot it up
Inside him, until this morning, when he came back to the place that shaped his deepest wounds, seeking revenge. Yet the ending shocked everyone. When police stormed his home, Robin was found seated in a chair, lifeless. No standoff, no final message, just silence that left more questions than answers. Was it only about the trauma he claimed to endure, or was there something far more sinister at play? What do you think really drove Robin Westman, and why did his story end this way? Comment your thoughts.
Yeah, comment down below, man. What triggered this man?
Remember how last year schools in America started implementing these phone pouches, where students were forced to lock up their devices from the moment that they walk onto campus till the moment that they leave? While the state of Texas just passed the law saying that every single public school that receives federal funding, which is pretty much all of them, will be legally required to give all of their students these pouches to put their phones in when they're in school. And yes, this will allegedly be including AirPods and Apple Watches as well. The thing is, these pouches have always gotten a ton of backlash, considering they cost millions of dollars. And if there's ever an emergency, it makes accessing your phone almost impossible, because you have to go to one of these ports to unlock it. But now these schools in Texas are
shout out to the students that use the scissors to cut that pouch, man.
Basically being given an ultimatum. They can either ban phones altogether, which no one wants, or they will have to start mass implementing these things within the next 90 days if they want to stay open. I mean, the crazy thing is, it's not even just the students that are against using these pouches. It's mainly parents who are extremely concerned that they will not be able to get a hold of their child if an emergency happens. To make things worse, the company that manufactures these little bags is somewhat unethical. They are privately owned and are for profit. And ever since this law passed, the company that manufactures them has a valuation of over $300 million, meaning the person that came up with this idea that all students need to lock their phones up is getting insanely rich. So the claim that they're doing it so students will be able to focus on their studies more isn't really realistic at this point. The best decision might be to either leave Texas altogether or to just get homeschooled.
Get homeschooled, get your kids out of public school.
The panic is palpable. Video taken by a father who ran into the church after the shooting shows children and adults rush out of the building. 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel was one of the victims.
Please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today. We love you, Fletcher. You'll always be with us.
Other parents describe the chilling moments as they searched for their kids Wednesday morning.
I just saw pictures, but it was because the kids were laying down. And I got closer, and I just saw blood everywhere.
Police say a protocol requiring the doors to be locked during Mass saved countless lives, but the shooter managed to still fire a total of 119 rounds aiming through the window.
119 rounds.
The Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free Shell Place holidays available, with 22 kilograms of baggage included.
That's what you gotta wait for your kid to do every day.
I went to school today,
they crazy,
and I thought they was joking about that no phone shit. Bitch, we ain't had no phone all motherfucking day long. From when we walked in that motherfucker to when we left that motherfucker. Whoever made that motherfucking law, I'm screaming fuck you and your mama. Cause I'm just trying to figure out, like, girl, out of everything you could have did, bitch, you wanna motherfucking make our years miserable at school? In school, boo? Like, we already don't like coming anyways, so for you to take away the phones, the only thing we motherfucking had to get through the motherfucking day, and you thought that was gonna make it better in school? I hate to announce it to you, boo, but you just made a bigger issue. Cause now, I'm just tempted to fight all the motherfucking time. I got nothing but time, patience, energy. Like, I need that from any bitch. Look at me crazy. I don't got no phone, I don't got no distractions, ho. I'm on that. With you. What you wanna do? Bitch, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, girl, what? You thought taking my phone away was gonna make me, like, calm down or something? Boo, you finna turn me the fuck up now, for real. I don't got no distractions, bitch. I'm on that with any bitch.
Well, first of all, it's a state law now, so there will be no cell phones, no devices, which we're restricting across all schools. This is not new to New York City, though. Over half of our schools already have a device restriction policy. As a matter of fact, when I was a principal, I collected cell phones, so this is definitely not new to me. But we have one of 3 methods to restrict devices, which is important for families and students to know. So again, in my case, when I was a principal, I collected the cell phones at the door and I returned them at the end of the day. But I had a school of 400 kids. If you have a school with thousands of kids, that might not be your preferred method. So another one could be locker storage devices, and a third one are the magnetic pouches, where you can keep them on your person, but you can't access them until you leave for the day and you open it with a magnet. And so we left flexibility in our chancellor's regulation so that schools can adopt their own policy that's still in compliance with the new law.
Get your kids out of public school. It is effectively a broken system. This was set up based off of an 18th century Prussian model in order to make really, really good conscripts and factory workers. And it is a mass production approach to education, which means it's not interested in the individual goals of your child. It is, at this point, interested in sustaining itself as it is. The other thing that we need to keep in mind is that if you look at our university system, so you want to teach in a public school, gotta have a degree, right? Our university system overall is, on a good day, about 70-30 leftist to conservative or libertarian. On a bad day, it's more like 90-10. And in the education departments of every school, it's more like 95-5. What I mean by that, and James Lindsay has actually done a really, really good job of talking about this in his book called The Marxification of Education. If you look at what's being emphasized within education right now, it's hideous. We're at a point right now where there is such power within that system in order to maintain the status quo, in order to just argue for more funding, but to never do any sort of substantive change that would correct some of the things that we all saw during COVID, that I think at this point it has gotten almost openly hostile.
Public schools.
I just gotta say this. Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, and all you other assholes that are over at the Texas Capitol that just voted for kids to not be able to have cell phones last Sunday. I hope you remember that. Well, it's kind of messed up. Why is it messed up? You're always, kids need to focus. They need to stay on track. Well, let's not forget that last year we had 24 shootings in 2024. The highest amount of shootings this whole nation saw. School shootings. Because kids, they had active shooters on site. And the only way that they could get a hold of somebody was through their cell phones. But you want to make it a rule that they can't have their cell phones on because why? They need to focus in school. What about calling their parents and let them know they're safe? Well, you have to have their phones in a safe, secure location. You guys don't give a crap about kids. You get nothing. It's their lifeline. E.T. phone home. Something's gone wrong. But no, you'd rather just, what? What are you doing away with this for? Why can't kids have their cell phones? Oh, because maybe they're cheating, right? But you do nothing about pew-pew control in the schools to protect them. Well, you're just going to hire more police officers, so what? That they'll run? Remember Uvalde? Those cops didn't even get involved. Kids had to call their parents. They had to call the police. Let them know there's a school shooter on site. Massive floodings in on their phone systems. Oh, there's a school shooter on site. You want to do away with their phones. And while everybody was all worried about the SB3, legal hemp in Texas, we want to be able to enjoy ourselves. This got signed into office. Got signed into the bills. And now he's got a special session on the books. And everybody's like, oh, they're gonna try to take away SB3 again. It's not even about that. It's about redistricting. They're putting into play everything that they can take away. Redistricting Texas so that they stay a Republican state. So that they can keep pushing this thing, like taking away rights from us, taking away our kids, their livelihoods, but they'll do not one damn thing about gun control. Not one damn thing. And my son was worried about that yesterday. He explained to me what if there's a school shooter, Dad? How will I get a hold of you? What, am I going to have to just get on the news while I'm at work? I'd rather him be able to have his phone to call me. But ChatGPT's doing their homework for him. Fuck you. Shame on you.
Yeah, man, we're gonna end it right there, man.